Buenos dias and welcome back to another video, my friends. I hope that you're staying healthy and I hope that you're staying safe wherever you are in the world. Today on the channel, I want to talk about 3 tips on how you and I can make better long exposure light trail photos. Before I begin here, let me introduce myself. My name is Pablo Diaz. I make photography videos, both digital and film, and I also dabble and share my experiences on filmmaking and my journey within that process. One of the absolute best places to practice, get started, or even just shoot long exposure light trails is to find an overpass or a bridge where there's a lot of traffic going underneath that bridge or overpass. You're gonna get a lot of opportunities, you can get a lot of shots off, and you can just continue to practice and get better at shooting light trails and get unique shots at the same time. A few days ago, I got up super early and met up with my buddy Wes. He was creating some content for his channel, and I wanted to take advantage and shoot some long exposure light trail photography for my channel. So this leads me to my first tip, and that is to shoot with different lenses. Try out different lenses when you are shooting long exposure light trail photography. You don't always have to shoot wide. I noticed that a lot of the shots that I do see when I see light trail photography, it's shot wide. And that's okay. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if that's kind of your forte, then stick with it. But to be a better photographer in the area of light trails, in my opinion, I feel like you have to try, or you at least should try, different techniques and different focal lengths. And in this case, I shot with the RF 70-200 and I also shot with the RF 24-105. And this allows you to punch in and out in a scene, and especially where I was actually looking down kind of the highway or the freeway, and there was mountains way off in the distance. Now, if I was shooting wide, which is totally okay, because I did get some shots that way, and I actually enjoyed some of my wide shots. In fact, I made a pano on this day. And what this allows you to do is punch in and out of a scene and get different compositions just based on the focal length of your lens. And you may surprise yourself. You may actually get to see something you would have never been able to see in your composition if you didn't actually punch into the scene. There's an example that I have here on the screen where I actually was using a 24-105, if I'm not mistaken, and I wish I would have punched in a little bit more. This is actually shot a little bit wider than I wanted it. And yes, of course I can crop in, but again, when you crop, you lose a few of your megapixels, which that is okay. I'm not opposed to cropping and losing some of my megapixels in my images. But if you want all those megapixels, if you're a pixel pincher, and again, that's okay, I am too. But if you want to get it right in camera, I should have punched in and taken 2 shots. They're all free, right? They're digital shots. Take as many as you need. But in this case, I thought I had, or what I thought was satisfactory, or thought I had a satisfactory shot, but in the end, I actually like the image a little better like this. So the moral of the story here is to just try different focal lengths, whatever they might be. Just don't stay wide forever. Try something different. It's okay. You can do it. And the next tip for shooting better long exposure light trail photos is to simply use different shutter speeds. Now, I understand that sometimes we can get a little bit formulaic in shooting 20 to 30 second shutter speeds on long exposures, and those work for me, Pablo, and that's just the way I'm going to do them because I get great results. No worries there. Stick with that if that's what you want to do and that's what's working for you. I have no problem with people staying formulaic, but if you want to learn or see different photos based on trying different things, then slow down your shutter a little bit, and or is it speed up your shutter? in this case. Use 1 second as your shutter speed, or use 8 seconds as your shutter speed, or choose 15 seconds as your shutter speed. And this will give you subtle or slightly different looks or vastly different looks. And this is going to allow you to look at photos and decide, oh, maybe there is an occasion for me to be able or want to shoot a shorter shutter speed, like a 1 second. For example, I really enjoyed my 1 second shutter speed on this highway, and just because it gave me a multitude of little short bursts of light along the whole highway, and I just thought that that was really unique, different to the ones that were all connected. Now, I do love connected lines and connected lights, I should say, but this gave me a different thought process and allowed me to think a little bit like, could I do something different with that? And also in combination with punching in and using that first tip I gave you, and that's trying different focal lengths in combination with trying different shutter speeds. I think you can get some unique shots, and I think you'll be really happy and surprised in some cases of the outcomes that you actually get. So try different shutter speeds. Don't just stick to one. Before I move on to my last tip, I do want to mention that light trails are not reserved only to automobiles. There's a variety of different ways that you can try light trails, meaning movement of light and capturing it over time so you get that trail of light. So please go out and research or do some more or different light trail photography. Totally cool. This one is mostly focused on long exposure light trail of automobiles, because that's just what I went out and shot, and it's really one of my favorite things to do. My last tip for you for making better long exposure light trail photos is to simply experiment. Whether that be in camera or in the editing suite, try different things. You can do a combination of the first two tips that I mentioned, different lenses with different focal lengths in combination with different shutter speeds, but also stay in landscape or try rotating your camera into portrait mode and see what kind of different angles and compositions you can get, because filling your frame from top to bottom sometimes is a lot different than filling your frame from left to right in landscape mode. So try that. Incorporate different lights. Incorporate lights that are ambient or are in the area already, or bring in lighting and try different things. But there's a variety of things that you can do out there to spice up or really experiment with your long exposure photography, and I think that's what makes it so much fun. Shooting light trails, if it doesn't show on my face, it's one of the easiest things you can do, but also one of the funnest things that you can go out and do, because it just takes your ability to open up your shutter, leave it open for a certain amount of time, and then see what you created. And sometimes a little movement in the camera might be something that you want to do. It's going to give you kind of some energy and movement in your photo when it's all said and done. In fact, what I did on this early evening, or early morning I should say, I actually took my GoPro and I shot, I think it was like almost 830 different shots over the course of about an hour or so. And what that allowed me to do was, I thought, can I put that in a star tracker type of editing software and see if it would give me what ultimately didn't work, because I thought it was going to give me star trails along with light trails along the highway. That didn't work at all. But what it started to do was give me increasingly more pieces of vehicles in the actual shot, and I just thought it was phenomenal. It's more of a concept piece, but I think there's something I can do with that if I can hone in on what the exact exposure information that needs to be on my camera. If I can figure out what that needs to be, I think that would be really fun. So I don't know, I just, again, like trying different things, and most of the time they don't work, but when they do, you find something new, you iterate on it, and it becomes innovative for you and your photography. So that's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed the 3 tips on making better long exposure light trail photos. Again, try different lenses, try different shutter speeds, and experiment. Those are 3 just real quick and easy things that you can go out and do, and you can do them all in the same shoot. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed. I think I'm at like 90% of non-subscribers watching this channel. I appreciate the strong and mighty 10% that come on every week and watch all the videos. I really do appreciate you, but I'd love to have you as part of the Buenos Dias Imagery family. If you would just subscribe, just hit that little subscription button, and also ring that bell to notify you of new videos when they're posted. Like this video, it actually really helps my channel. So if you would go down there and just like this video if you liked any part of it or provided you some value. And then finally, please comment down below. I would love to chat with you. All right, my friends, I love y'all, and until the next one, peace.